more stuff about GitHub projects and Scrum, this one is a topic that I found endlessly confusing. Let's talk about issues versus draft issues. All right, so far our product backlog looks like this. We've got 5 PBIs, product backlog items, and they kind of look like this. The product backlog is coming along. But let's zoom in on the title column a little bit. That icon next to each issue, the one that I've got highlighted, that means that this is a draft issue. And if you right-clicked on one of these items and brought up the context menu, you'd see that there's an option to convert to issue. So what's the deal with these draft issues? I've got to admit, I thought this was pretty confusing, and it took me a while to wrap my head around these things. For lack of a better word, they're kind of a virtual issue. They exist, and they also don't exist. Issues have been part of GitHub for years, but GitHub projects are pretty recent. These draft issues only exist inside of a project. In my mind, this draft issue versus real issue is based on the idea of roles on a project, and that not everyone will be interested in everything. Draft issues give project managers and product owners a way to have notes on a requirement, a place for them to organize their thoughts. And if I keep thinking using this model/mode, this theoretically leaves team members, for example developers and testers, to only care about full-blown issues. In short, nothing is real for the development team unless it's an issue. By the way, if I sound a little skeptical, it's because, well, I'm a little skeptical. Anyway, as you'll see once I start doing demos, there are a ton of features that are only available once you've converted a draft issue to a real issue. And because of all those extra features, you're definitely going to want to convert your draft issues to become real issues. But there's an issue with issues. If GitHub projects are separated from GitHub issues, and GitHub issues only live inside of a Git repository, then, when I convert my draft issues to real issues, where do I actually store those new issues? The answer is that you're going to need a repo for your project issue stuff. So when you go to turn the draft issues in your projects into real issues, you're going to find that GitHub projects are very flexible. They try to let you work the way that you want to work. For example, they don't try to limit you to a one-to-one mapping between issues in a project and issues in a repo, which makes sense because if you're working on a big application, there's no guarantee that the work relates to the contents of just one Git repository. On the other hand, this flexibility can get you into trouble. You could have a sprawling mess of issues that can get super confusing. So here's my suggestion. I think you should create a dedicated Git repository for your project. This takes the guesswork out of the where do I put the issue question. That's not to say that you can't or shouldn't put issues in any other repo. Instead, think of this as the default location for where issues related to that project should go. And to make your life easy, make the issue repo's name the same name as the GitHub project. So if your project is named myproject123, create a repository that's also named myproject123, and this way, it'll be very clear where issues should be created. Anyway, that's probably enough talking about this stuff. It's time for some demos. So, in the next video, I'll take you through the process of converting your draft issues into real issues. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll stay tuned.